we are on the road to a FASD conference that I will be participating in tomorrow. So let's go on a road trip together.
I whisper in the air, humming softly to the leaving. I see a flame inside me, shining on the speeds of mine. My soul was weakening. I found you, my word.
And my speech will be tomorrow. And hopefully everything will go as planned. And maybe we'll do a hotel tour tomorrow. This is what it looks like currently. A mess. My name is Camille. I was adopted from a Russian orphanage along with my twin sister when we were 13 months old. We were born 9 weeks premature, and at 13 months, I was under 12 pounds and my sister weighed less than 10 pounds. Jessica was in worse condition than me. Everyone can hear me from the back? Okay, awesome. She could not hold her head up, and it would take my mom an hour to feed her 8 ounces of formula. We were way below any expected milestones, even for preemies. It was basically like my parents had brought home newborn babies. After a few months, my mom brought this up to our family doctor in Montreal, and his response was, "It was normal. Just keep doing what you're doing and it will all be okay." But as the weeks and months went on, we were still very delayed, and my mom finally told the pediatrician to refer us to neurology at the Montreal Children's Hospital. As it happened, we got assigned to the head of neurology, who knew the second he saw us that we had FASD because of our facial features. Now, being the good doctor that he was, he still made us go through all the necessary tests to rule out everything else. When those tests came back negative, he confidently diagnosed us at the time with FAS, or fetal alcohol syndrome. I was very fortunate that my mom and dad looked at this diagnosis not as something to be sad about, or my diagnosis date as a somber day, but to look at what it was. We were disabled and we needed a lot more support than our neurotypical/able-bodied children. Right away, my mom, who actually worked with children with disabilities in her youth, began to look at all the therapies that we would need to help us thrive in life. We started doing occupational therapy, sensory integration therapy, and physio, as well as getting in contact with different organizations and programs so that we had support in place. We went into a special preschool for disabled children that helped us learn simple life skills, like how to take off and hang up coats, put up our school backpacks, and how to interact with the teachers and students. We learned some basic letters and recognizing our name. Very basic things to help prepare us for the school system. We also did an interactive group play program called Gym and Swim that helped us gain gross motor skills. Also, we started to learn how to swim. At think that's one of the reasons I love swimming so much. Now I'm very, very comfortable in the water, and swimming has a massive therapy benefit. I can engage my muscles and strengthen my core, and it helps with my vestibular and proprioception in the water. We had huge trees in our backyard in Montreal, and in the fall, my dad and mom would make massive leaf mounds. And because of my sensory issues, specifically with touch, I was scared to touch and run through the leaves. My mom had a very hands-on approach to my sensory needs, and she thought, well, I'm just going to dump leaves all on her, or throw her in the leaf pile and see what happens. I know that might sound mean, but 9 times out of 10, it worked. And I got over whatever was freaking me out at that moment. Now, I'm not saying to do this with every sensory experience, but sometimes we just need a little push with some of our sensory interactions. When we moved to Whitby, we started to do different types of therapy. We went to the Listening Center, which was a month-long program. My mom had to drive an hour into Toronto every weekday for that month. That therapy was to help with body awareness and
auditory.
That therapy was to help with body awareness and auditory and sensory processing. I remember having to wear headphones for the therapy, and there was a long cord that would follow me around a massive room, because this was the early 2000s and we did not have wireless headphones back then. They would play different sounds and music, and I would even hear my own mom's voice. She had to read different stories, and they would record her, and it would play through the headphones with a slight distortion. Speech was another therapy that I had started to do as I was quite delayed. I don't think I started speaking until I was 3 years old. I even continued on and off until I was in 6th grade. Brain Gym was another program I was a part of in the early 2000s, and that helped with a lot of brain-body connection and the understanding that it really is important that a child has a good sense of where their body was in space. We did a lot of exercises that help with crossing the midline of the body so we could have solid brain connections, and exercises in how to calm our body down when we were feeling upset or overwhelmed. I thought I could show you some of those exercises right now. We're going to do 3 exercises. If people want to stand up, you can. If you want to sit down and do these exercises, you can too. So the first one we're going to learn is cross crawls, and there's an easy way to do this and a harder version to do this. So all we're going to do is we're going to take our right hand, and we are going to lift our left leg, and we're just going to put our hand with our knee, and we're going to put it down. And then we're going to do the opposite. We're going to take our left hand, and we're going to place it on our right knee, and we're just going to hit it. And we're going to do that a couple of times. Yay, we're doing cross crawls. So the harder version is we're going to do the same thing but with our elbow instead of our hand. So we're going to take our right elbow and we're going to hit it with our left knee. Okay. And then we're going to do it opposite way.
You can do it sitting down.
Oh!
And they're really the backwards one?
Oh yes, I keep forgetting about. We can also do it backwards if you want.
Oh.
And we're crossing the midline when we do that, which is very important for brain and body connection. The second one we are going to do is a calming technique, so anyone who's having any sensory overstimulation or anxiety about something, this is a good activity to do. We're going to do the easy version first and then the hard version. So all you're going to do is you're going to take your right hand and you're going to stick it under your left armpit. You're going to take your left hand and stick it under your right armpit, and then you're gonna cross whichever leg feels comfortable over, and we're just gonna breathe.
I find it easier to do sitting down.
Comfy, eh?
And then we're gonna try the harder version of this. You're gonna have your hands out like this, yep. And then you're gonna give your hands a high five. Yay, and then hold them,
Cross 3 fingers.
and then pull it in. And you're also gonna cross your legs. You can also do this sitting down. And we're just gonna breathe. And that helps calm the nervous system down. And the last one, which I think is kind of important for anyone who suffers with dizziness or vertigo, you're gonna intertwine your fingers again, and all you're gonna do is you're gonna place it on your head, and you're gonna put a little bit of pressure, and that decreases dizziness that you're feeling, like